Christian's not putting together his best year statistically, but he is putting on a display of toughness, of physicality, mental and physical toughness, smarts, fearlessness. It's a display from Christian McCaffrey. And I think by the end of the year, if he's healthy the whole time through, my senses will all kind of feel lucky to have seen it. Different, not historic, right? Not the 2,000 yards from scrimmage years that he's put together. But I am very aware when we watch this guy run into a pile for the 15th time, and that one time it's like, oh, that was 6 yards on first down when they needed it, up by 3, trying to end this game. I'm still very aware watching him that he's still a very special player. Some teams in the NFL give the ball to their running back to set up the pass to their receivers. Now, some teams throw it to their receivers to set up the run to their running back. You know what I'm going to say? The 49ers give it to Christian McCaffrey to set up the pass to Christian McCaffrey. Or they pass it to Christian McCaffrey to set up the run to Christian McCaffrey. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I want to talk about the ongoing Christian McCaffrey discussion, especially this week because the 49ers are playing on Monday Night Football. Bijan Robinson, who is Christian McCaffrey 2.0, and people are saying right now is the best player in the NFL. But hard to argue. He's been fantastic. At the same time, there's a big debate about whether or not Christian's lost a step. And I think it's a fair conversation to have. And I think the reality is it's his 9th year in the league. He's 29 years old, probably, but also is playing like one of the most important players in the NFL. I mean, how could he not be wearing down a little? He's touching the ball more than anybody else. His touches are by far and away the most in the league. 154 touches is 19 more than Jonathan Taylor, who's second. It's 49 more than Bijan Robinson. He's touching the ball on average more than 8 times per game, more than Bijan Robinson, who's the best player in the league, apparently. So it'd be hard for his efficiency to not go down. On top of that, complimentary football, the Niners do push the ball down the field, but it's not exactly the highlight. As good, and I think Kyle's done an excellent job. But it's not the most balanced 49ers offense we've ever seen. I mean, Jeff Deeney at Pro Football Focus sent some numbers over against the Bucs. Christian ran for 54 yards. 6 of those yards came before contact. Think about that. 6 of 54 yards came before he got hit. 48 of his yards came after he got hit. And you could argue, well, maybe he's not getting to the hole as quick, and that gets him hit. There's probably some truth to it, but I don't think it's the primary reason we're seeing less efficiency. I mean, some of these numbers, and again, these are from PFF, are incredible when you consider that he is one of the most productive players in the league, despite this. And I think that's the headline for me is despite the issues, he's still the drop in efficiency. So he's just become a raw number machine. Yards before contact per carry. Okay. Christian McCaffrey averages 0.7 yards before contact. It's half of what he was doing in 23. His last healthy season. Half. I mean, it was 1.3 that year. Now it's 0.7. 22, it was 1.9. 21 was 1.8. I think part of this might be him. I think it's fair. But it's clear everybody's zeroed in on this guy. And not having George Kittle around is a factor. 0.7 yards before contact is 29th among qualified backs. And in this case, qualified backs means 50 or more touches, carries. 29th out of 36. Not great. Well, if it's not working, why you keep giving it to him? Because despite it not working, it is kind of working. Christian McCaffrey, stuff rate. Okay, that's a run that's no gain or it's a loss. Skyrocketing this year, 24%. 1 out of every 4 carries is no gain or a loss for Christian. In 2023, that was 15%. So it's almost 10% higher. Now he's had higher numbers before, 19% in 22 and 21. On worse teams, presumably. In Carolina, maybe there's some correlation there. Carolina's not as good, so they're keying in on him more. What's interesting is you would think, and I would have thought, that he's facing more 8-man boxes this year. That's not the case. He's actually facing less. They're not committing as many players to the run, and yet they are defending the 49ers run. So there's no question the efficiency is down, but efficiency goes down when your volume goes up. And right now, Christian is 108 attempts. That's where did this go? I had this yards per 18 attempts per game on the ground. That's the second most of his career. Only 2020 when he was 19.7 attempts rushing was higher. His receptions per game is 7.7. That is the highest of his career. So we're talking about a guy whose workload at 29 years old, at a time when he's supposed to be losing skill, or at least explosiveness, his workload is basically never been higher. So that alone, you would think, would make efficiency go down. On top of that, it's happening at a time when maybe he's losing a little explosiveness. But I see a guy, you know what's funny about the numbers, and I've said this a few times, when you watch these games, as you do, as I do, we all watch, you know, I don't watch any more of it than you do. I watch the L22, you watch it, you probably watch the L22. But when you watch it, even though the efficiency is down, it does feel like, and it's harder to break. I'm like, they're not breaking any runs, any big runs. There's no explosives, which I'll get to in a second. But it does feel like he does pick up key yards and key moments at times. And I think he's still a very skilled player. I mean, the fact that he's touched the ball more than anybody else and is still creating offense, that's how I look at it. Is he creating offense for the 49ers? I think the answer is yes. And so even at 2 point whatever yards per carry, 3.1 yards per carry, which is the lowest of his career, they're still hitting. Like, how is Kendrick Bourne getting so open? Part of that's got to be that even if the defense thinks we can stop your run, they still have to pay attention to stopping the run. And then Christian can also get out and catch the ball. The other thing is, and this is where I hesitate a hair on the explosiveness, because the age would tell us, the numbers would tell us, like all that stuff would say, yeah, he's probably lost a half a step. Has he had a chance to get in the fourth gear at all? Ever? Once this year? Maybe once? Twice? Has he had a chance to really open it up? I mean, you know, I think there is quickness and then there is speed, and Christian has had both in his career, explosiveness and speed. We haven't really gotten a chance to see, like, can he still run? Is someone going to, I'm still waiting for him to break a hole, and then we can evaluate, is someone going to chase him down here when they normally wouldn't? Now, that's why people kind of laugh at the 40-yard dash sometimes. It's like, well, most things that happen on a football field aren't straight line 40-yard sprints. It's about explosion. It's about quickness. That's, you know, the 10-yard shuttle the 10-yard shuttle is something that people have started to like more for real football movements, turning, exploding, short area quickness. Like, that's more important. I don't think we have definitive information here that he is getting swarmed, and we see it. And yet he's touching the ball more than anybody else by a mile. I don't know what the total yards will end up at. I mean, 336 through 6 games. So what is that pace? 336 divided by 6 equals times, it's 56. 56 times 17 is 950. That is a lot of hard work for less than 1,000 yards. That's a lot of hard work I mean, in 2022, when the Niners got him, he ran for 746 yards on 159 attempts. 746 on 159. Right now he's at 108. And he's at 336. So, you know, it's like, by every metric, it's less efficient. But it's still the difference between them winning and losing games. And this week, I think, you know, I talk about it with quarterbacks all the time. We get to see this one guy on the field with this other guy. How are they going to compare? Because Bijan's stuff is sick. I mean, Bijan is 9 yards a carry last week against Buffalo, or Monday night against Buffalo a couple of days ago. 10 yards per catch, 25 touches. People are like, look at this guy. He does it all. And he's touching it 8 times less per game than Christian. But we're going to see it on the field at the same time. And which one's going to relate to winning? Like, the odds are against this Niners defense without Fred Warner, Bijan's efficiency numbers will continue to be better than Christian's efficiency numbers. Can the Niners keep it close enough? Can they score a key play in the red zone? Can they score a key down in the red zone? Just like, can they keep it close enough where Christian, to me, he still makes so many winning plays, even if the efficiency is not there? And I think maybe if Kittle comes back, or when Kittle comes back, maybe when Pearsall comes back, I still think we're going to see, my ultimate prediction on Christian is we'll still see those efficiency numbers go up at some point this year if, the personnel around him gets better. But if it doesn't, this dude's going to keep just running into a brick wall. I remember I was building a baby crib the other day, my buddy Joe, who brought it over, and he had his son, and he was showing him how to, he was giving him tips on how to work. And I said, my dad always used to say when we were like building something, two things. One, like if I'd get on the ground, like lay down for a minute, like get a rest while you're under something, like, you don't do any work laying down. But the second thing, unless you're, I guess, under the house, the second thing was always brains over brawn. Right now, the Niners, Shanahan, I think, has displayed his brains. But when it comes to Christian, and like the touchdown they scored against the Rams where they split Christian out, got him on a linebacker, I thought that was a really cool moment on radio because Tim Ryan identified it right away. Like, this is going to Christian. Watch this. But so there's still a lot of brains over brawn when they use McCaffrey, but there's still plenty of just brawn. Just give it to him, run him into a wall, see what happens. Maybe one of these days he'll run through it. What used to be a 17-yard or a breakaway touchdown is now 8. And you know what? In these games the Niners play where it's going to be a 3-point game or a 1-point game or a 5-point game, that 8-yard carries kind of the new home run for them. The double is the new home run for the 49ers in the run game. And it's still effective because they're playing in close games. It still matters. So, I think we're seeing a special year, a different kind of special year from McCaffrey so far, especially if he can stay healthy the whole year. If he can stay healthy the whole year playing like this, then despite the fact that you'll look back at the box score in 20 years and no one will notice that, you're like, oh, down year for McCaffrey. Like the version of me in 15 years will look back and like, just reading a box score, be like, well, McCaffrey wasn't as good in 25. And those of us that saw it be like, well, I've never seen a guy take this much of abuse and just keep, like, the fact that it's at 3.1, if he leads the league by this wide a margin at the end of the year, you go, holy smokes, that was pretty impressive. That was a display. Christian's not putting together his best year statistically, but he is putting on a display of toughness, of physicality, mental and physical toughness, smarts, fearlessness. It's a display from Christian McCaffrey. And I think by the end of the year, if he's healthy the whole time through, my senses will all kind of feel lucky to have seen it. Different, not historic, right? Not the like 2,000 yards from scrimmage year that he's put together. But I am very aware when we watch this guy run into a pile for the 15th time, and that one time it's like, oh, that was 6 yards on first down when they needed it, up by 3, trying to end this game. I'm still very aware watching him that he's still a very special player.